welcome. We are live. We have one more warm-up lesson to get you ready for the Sax Creative Experience Week, which we will start 28 April. It will happen between 28 April and 30 May. So these warm-up lessons exist to get you ready, so you can become familiar with the method, so you can warm up even if you are return playing or you are thinking about to start learning saxophone. These warm up lessons are very important. So we can also know each other. If you are engaging here, we can build a nice community. It's very important to build a community, part of the learning process. So let's start here with the topic of the day. The topic is I can't play by ear. It's not a gift, it's a skill. So, and you can develop it step by step. So I'm going to present to you through some of the experience I have as teacher, as as teacher. Also, I've been I learned it. I every saxophone player professional started one day from zero, and now I'm teacher. Always we are always learning, and teacher sharing knowledge, so inspiring people to learn saxophone also. So I noticed that a lot of people don't play by ear because of a kind of pattern. Most of people uh, read music. They can read very well, but once we get the sheet music, they got lost. A lot of people are learning to read instead of play. That's one of the common issues. So I'm going to go deep on that issue and inspire you uh, through that problem. So expectations show up, listen, engage, leave your ready your like here. If you're not following the channel, follow the channel. Leave your like here. Show that warm up lesson. These warm up lesson series are supporting you. Okay, so it's very important for the community your engagement. So don't forget to engage. So let's understand music as a language. First of all, every day I remember that saxophone is a musical instrument. We have to learn music as a language because once you are understanding music as a language, you can express yourself on that instrument. So saxophone is a musical instrument where you express yourself musically. Okay. Uh, so you don't need years to start improvising because the idea is learning saxophone through improvisation. So even in the beginning, you can start improvising during the warm-up lessons. Today, uh, we are having just one warm-up lessons, but every weekday I'm sharing contents. I'm coming here live to engage with you to show many possibilities. So we have already a lot of information, a lot of warm-up lessons to get ready for the Sax Creative Experience Week. And you saw already, if you are watching the lessons, you saw already that with just one note, two notes, three notes, we can improvise. You don't have to be a professional saxophone player to improvise. Improvisation, it's a way to learn better. It's a way to enjoy the process, especially if you are a beginner. You know that it's not overnight, but if you are being creative, if you are improvising, you can have, you can enjoy more the process. So you don't need years, you don't need advanced theory, you can start from zero. So engagement, let me know where you are from, if you are live or if you are watching the replay. Let me know where you are from. It's very important to know about it. I know we have people here from different parts of the world. Let me know if you are beginning, return player, if you are feeling stuck and just looking for information to expand your views, your practice. And let me present. If you don't know me, I am Marcelo Cuco. I perform for over 20 years internationally, different kinds of events, local venues around the world, corporate events, private events, cruise ship, theater, touring projects. Also, I have formal music education. I start developing my methodology I'm sharing with you in the end of my bachelor degree. That was a method really to teach saxophone through improvisation, and then the master degree exploring improvisation, different music styles around the world. So improvising, jamming, also as songwriter, and that is the SCI method, Sax Creative Improvisation, that's supporting people around the world, and I'm sharing here with you these techniques, these results. So the real problem, many players were trained to read. As I told at the beginning of the video, many players were trained to read, but not to listen. That's the main problem I find in the educational system. You know, especially if you are learning to play in orchestra, because it's a based in an old model. For example, if we come back to the century 18, 17, what was music on that time? It was orchestra, you know, classical music, you know, Mozart, Beethoven. It was classic. So the musician were trained to read. You know, today we have PA system. You know, today we have a different style of music. We have popular music. We have the industry. Okay, so we can listen. We can record ourselves. We can record musicians. So you have access of many albums today. Before, centuries ago, it was impossible. To listen a song was necessary to stay there listening the orchestra, you know, and many musicians playing together, reading music. Okay, so the musicians were trained to read music. But unfortunately, today a lot of people still are learning saxophone just reading. I'm not telling you that it's wrong. Okay, it's not wrong, but reading music, it's a visual reference. You can see the notes, you can analyze better the phrases, harmony. It's like words, you know. We are learning the words. So you learn the words by writing, by reading. No, first of all, you learn words by listening. Music should be the same. Okay, so many players were trained to read but not to listen. What I see in students, even with experience, orchestra, etc., many still depend on sheet music. Even for even to play scales, you know, if you in the previous warm-up lessons, I explained what means scale, you know, selection of notes, and that selection of notes represents a kind of emotion, you know. For example, we have a major scale, different major scales, minor scales. But a lot of people, even to play scales, need to read. A lot of people need to read scale, you know, basic scale, like major scale, or minor scale. You know, so when you are reading, you are lost. You are not connected with the sound. So we have to practice by listening. You have to feel the sound on that way. Okay, that's one of the biggest issue. Reading versus listening. Reading, it's a tool. Okay, so for example, if we have to analyze the small details in a phrase, okay, it can support you. Listening is musicality. So music is why we make music, to listen first of all. Okay, so music is like a language. We learn it by listening first, and we have to practice our activity listening. You know, when we are practicing improvisation, you can listen harmony, you can listen the rhythm, the beat, you know. So you can practice improvisation just listening these elements. You don't need to read a lot every time. Okay, because of that you are not developing your listening. but listening it's a natural skill. Okay, SCI method approach, the method I'm sharing with you, we focus on chords and scale. In the previous warm-up lessons, I explained to you what means chord, scale, explain it better. So we have to listen chords and scales. We don't have to see it on the music sheet. The music sheet has another purpose. It's visual. For example, if someone asks me to play a song I'm not familiar with, for example, I don't listen personally. I don't listen Taylor Swift. I don't listen Billie Eilish. I don't listen Bruno Mars. I don't listen, but I have a lot of requests to play these artists because of the music sheet. I can read it, so it can help me. It can help me to play faster the requested song instead of memorizing the song. So to memorize the song, I have to listen many times. So when I'm reading, especially if I have a request just for one event, I can read. On that way, it works well. But if I want to improve my ear, if you want to improve especially my improvisation skills, I don't have to depend of the music sheet. Okay, I have to develop my listening skills, especially if I'm improvising in a jam session. We have to listen drum, we have to listen the bass line, we have to listen the harmony. So what's a chord? Chords are a group of notes played together. It gives a character and emotion to sound. You see it during the Sax Creative Experience Week, that we have chords and, for example, let me play here some of the chords. Just a second. Let me connect it to my speaker. Connected. So it's a chord, okay? Chord. Let's listen here. Okay. Okay. So chords is a group of notes. So when you listen each chord, you are listening many notes at the same time. It means chord. When we are improvising, we are playing the notes of the chord. Okay, so we have to be able to identify it. But we have to listen, practice listening. So listen is the way you develop listening. Okay, it's like identifying words. If someone are ask you, can you please give me a coffee? Coffee. Now you can recognize that word. You know what coffee means. It's like sounds the same. It's even easier. Even easier because we have to practice since the beginning. You see during the Sax Creative Experience Week, how can we build it step by step, okay? And also the previous warm-up lessons I explained to you. So, why people feel stuck? Focus on notes and timing only. If we are reading, we are just reading notes on time. You want to play the notes on time. Okay, so you know that you have to play on time and you know that you have to play specific notes. But you are not looking for the overall, you're not looking for the music, you're not looking for the expression, the phrases. You are not understanding the harmony behind it. Remember when I told you that music is made by chords progression. So we have to play specific notes on each chord and each chord in specific bars. Okay, for example, bar 1 we have the chord of C, and bar 2 we have chord of G, bar 3 we have chords of A. Okay, that's it. We have to understand it intuitively. We have to develop it, the muscle memory, the listening. That kind of logic, the musical logic, is what you have to build, and you can develop it by listening. Okay. without understanding harmony and phrasing. So people feel stuck if you are not understanding harmony phrasing. You know, it's not about just reading notes on time. It's not about it. So from notes to meaning, you have to understand, or again, the chords. You have to understand the notes, why you can play specific notes in specific chords. You see it clearly on the Sax Creative Experience Week. Okay, so understanding harmony, understanding phrases, you can develop naturally your ear, your timing, your harmonic awareness. So old system and modern system. Old system was based on reading and reproduction, and as I told you before, centuries ago, without electricity, without recording, the only way to transmit musical knowledge was written. So the musicians were trained to read, to play in orchestra. So many musicians play at the same time. Okay. Now we have PA system. One musician can play to thousands of people. It's a very different context. So we can be spontaneous. We can improvise. It's part of our generation. We can be flexible. A lot of improvisations happen in the live music performance. So the modern goal is expression and improvisation. So breaking dependencies. So sheet music becomes a reference. You can use music sheets to analyze details on specific phrases, or uh, if you need to play a specific song that you never heard before. On that way, music sheets can support you a lot. Okay, analyze small details in phrase, especially if it's a phrase with a lot of notes, and to play songs that you never heard before. Not something to follow strictly. Okay, not something to follow strictly. It's a visual reference only. Result students get more freedom, better ear, improvisation becomes natural. Okay, so that's one of the biggest mistake. A lot of students arrive on my course, and I'm always, especially most of students can play really well, but the biggest challenge is play without music sheets. So once they send the assignment without music sheets, I can see a huge result in just few weeks. Just few weeks, because they can start developing the ear. So the truth, you don't lack talent. You don't lack talent. You just haven't trained your ear yet. That's it. It was just a short example I can of this. Maybe it can support you. Okay, I know it should be simple idea for many of you, but it can you can have huge results just by understanding it. Okay, the focus is practicing without just reading. Okay, consider the music sheet as a way to analyze phrases, as a way to maybe read some songs that you never heard before. But today we have technology, enough technology to listen. Okay, so repeating. We can do it, not just repeating the drills on saxophone, the fingering, etc., but also listening. Okay, that's the tip. So let me show you something, because that's the warm-up lesson number 17. Let me show you something, because we have already a lot of lessons. Let me show you. We have a lot of lessons. Let me. Okay. So a lot of lessons here. Oops. Can you see? That's the playlist. You can find that playlist on the description of this video. Let me just check. Just a second. That's the playlist, okay? The playlist, you can find that playlist on the description of this video. and we have a lot of warm-up lessons. A lot of warm-up lessons. That's the warm-up lesson number 17. Okay, so the warm-up lesson number 1, for example, I explained to you how to develop timing perception using just the mouthpiece, using just the mouthpiece. Okay, I talk about symmetry in phrases, then talking about harmony, chords, scales. Okay, so we have a lot of lessons. I'm avoiding coming here every day, morning and evening. I'm avoiding coming here every day, morning and evening, because you can rewatch the lessons. You can rewatch the warm-up lessons better. Okay, so if you have time, rewatch the lessons there. Access the playlist here in the description of this video and rewatch as much you can. Okay, because of that, I'm not coming more in the morning because we have a lot of contents already on the playlist here in the description. Okay, uh, that's it. It was the warm-up lesson number 17. So that's it. The message is you have to develop listening skills, something natural. Okay. Unfortunately, unfortunately we have still a lot of schools that teach you to read, so you are skipping a very important step, which is developing your listening, so we can develop memory. Okay, so don't become dependent of the music sheet. Okay, music sheet is important, but it's not everything. Okay, clear. So don't forget to check the set list, the full list of all the warm-up lessons. Check here in the description of that video. And see you tomorrow. We have a new warm-up lesson tomorrow, and I hope to see you here. Okay? Cheers. Have a nice evening. That's it. Don't forget to give a like here.